The phone call you'll wish you had made. Your phone may hold 400 names, but if the wheels fell off of everything tonight, how many men could you actually call? Now, if you're over 40, this answer may be uncomfortable, not because of some massive falling out. Nobody betrayed you, no fighting, just stopped calling. Most male friendships don't end in betrayal. They die somewhere in between, we should get together, and the day nobody says that anymore. It happens one missed call, one unscheduled beer, one busy year at a time. Now, before the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how you can change that this week. I'm Scott Finn, and this is Men's Hard Reset. The drift nobody notices. Let's call it what it is. Somewhere between your late 30s and mid 40s, many men experience a quiet, undramatic amnesia around friendship, not memory loss, priority loss. Work, kids, a marriage, divorce, they consume a calendar. You can be needed by everybody and still feel known by nobody, because somewhere in there, the muscles you used to use to build friendships, the ones that said, hey, I'm driving 2 hours to hang out, or let's do this every Tuesday, begins to weaken from disuse. The busiest men often are the loneliest because everyone mistakes responsibility for connection. So here's why this hits me like a ton of bricks. Not long ago, one of my closest friends, Jimmy, he died suddenly. Now, Jimmy just wasn't an old buddy. He knew every version of me. The broke musician, young husband, guy chasing his dreams, the devastated divorcee, the hard reset guy. We played in bands together. We wrote songs together. We vacationed together. We talked at least a few times a week for 30 years. The night he died, we talked on the phone around 7:45, planned dinner for later on in the week. He was even talking about a bottle of tequila that I had bought him. And sometime after 10 o'clock, his wife called. And just like that, bang, Jimmy was gone. My wife woke me up. She told me. All I could say was, what are you saying to me right now? My mind would not allow me to process it. So fast forward a month later, I come home from a work trip. My daughter picks me up at the airport. We're driving down the freeway. I pull out my phone, brought up Jimmy's number. Man, I am not kidding. I lost it. I needed to call him. Hey, I'm back in town. Play him a new song that I had written. Tell him about a good bottle of sake I had. Share one of those little things you never think will matter until there's nobody left to tell. All of it was gone. All smoke. So if you get nothing else from this video, please call your buddies. Because life has a way of making permanent decisions that you never will see coming. Every man thinks there'll be another call. Sometimes there isn't. That's the trick. It doesn't feel like a decision. Nobody wakes up and announces, I will now deprioritize my male friendships. No. It happens through 1,000 small yeses to everything else, which quietly become 1,000 small no's to all your bros you used to call every week. By 45, a lot of men are living in a strange dual reality. A full contact list and an empty Tuesday night. Think of one man. The first face that comes to your mind. Pick up your phone and send that text or make that call. Men don't lose friends because they get busy. They lose friends because everyone quietly assumes somebody else will call. This isn't a character flaw, it's a pattern. And once you see it, you can begin to change it. The lie that every man believes. You're not imagining this, and you're not uniquely broken. This is one of the most well-documented and least discussed changes in modern male life. Over the past few decades, American men have been quietly losing close friendships. The kind of guy who once had a real bench of people to call, a handful of close friends he could lean on, is a lot rarer than it used to be. That doesn't mean men suddenly forgot how to be friends. It means the places that naturally created friendships with men have slowly disappeared. So, yeah, I'm old. When I was growing up, we rode bicycles, played in the dirt, spent summers at the lake, wallered in the creeks, hung out at the local pools. As young adults, we worked on cars together. I mean, you get the picture, right? Today, it's sitting in your room talking on a subreddit about the latest God of War release. And hey, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. But talking about life isn't the same thing as living life together with your friends. We have replaced shared experience with shared content, group chats, likes. They help us keep up with each other, but they don't necessarily help us stay close. I could not believe this. In 2023, the Surgeon General declared loneliness as a genuine public health epidemic. Lacking social connection, risk of premature death comparable to smoking a half a pack of cigarettes a day. This blew me away. I didn't know this until I started researching this video. I'm actually stunned. 15 cigarettes a day? Not simply feeling a little sad, a measurable health risk. Look, I hate stats, but this one hit me so hard, I just had to say it. For a huge number of married men, their spouse has quietly become the only person they talk to when something's really wrong. Of course you're going to talk to your wife or your partner. Who else are you going to confide in? Friendship used to happen by accident, and today it only survives on purpose. Let's talk about what staying here actually costs. Your marriage or your relationship absorbs the entire load. When your partner is your only confidant, bad mood, stress, fear gets routed through one person. It isn't romantic, it's structurally fragile. Relationships breathe easier when they aren't the only source of oxygen in the room. Your wife can be your best friend without having to be your only friend. You can lose your outside perspective. Friends who know you beyond the roles you play at work and home are the people who tell you when you're being an idiot. They remember you at 25. They can call you on your nonsense without making it feel like, oh my gosh, my entire relationship is threatened. It isn't only emotional, it's physical. Sustained social isolation has been associated with increased heart attack, stroke, depression, early mortality. Your body keeps score, even if your calendar doesn't. And this is the quiet one. When something actually goes wrong, a layoff, diagnosis, a divorce, a death, you discover in real time exactly how many people you can call at 11 o'clock. Most men don't discover how alone they are until the worst day of their life. For a lot of men, that number is 1, but sometimes it's 0. A crisis doesn't create your isolation. It reveals how long it's already been there. And look, you're not just missing out on the fun. You're operating without a safety net. You're assuming is there until the moment you really need it. Now here's the part I need you to really hear. The fact that you stop calling your friends is not a verdict on your worth as a man, husband, father, or person. Most men were taught how to maintain a career, a house, a lawn, a 401k. Far fewer were taught that friendships require maintenance too. Nobody set you down at 22 and explained how to keep a close friend alive for the next 50 years. You have to initiate that. You have to schedule it. You have to show up when it's inconvenient. And you have to keep doing it even when nobody else takes the lead. A lot of men were never given that curriculum. You weren't necessarily uncaring, just we're raised to be passive. And true friendships don't survive that. You may not be responsible for how this started, but once you see it, you're responsible for whether it continues or not. That distinction matters because many men respond to this realization with shame, and shame makes people hide instead of change. You don't need to spend another year prosecuting yourself for the last decade of missed calls. Recognize the pattern, accept your role in it, and put that energy into doing something about it. You're not a bad friend. You're a man who stopped practicing friendships. Life gets busy. The way forward isn't guilt. Loneliness rarely announces itself. It disguises itself as being busy. It's just showing up again. Okay. Not someday, this week. Send a text. Pick one person from your contacts, someone you used to hang out with, and send them this. Hey, bro, thought about you today. Are you free Thursday or Saturday? Grab some coffee, catch up. Don't write, we should catch up sometime. That's not a plan. That's a polite way to postpone. Give them a specific invitation and a couple of times, making say yes easier than forgetting to respond. You need a standing appointment. This is the one that everybody skips. A single hangout doesn't fix your pattern. It only proves getting together was still possible. The real change is something reoccurring. Tuesday golf, monthly poker night, Saturday breakfast, gym, or a standing Thursday call while you drive home. Put it on the calendar as a repeating appointment, just like something important, because guess what it is? Friendships after 40 don't survive on good intentions. It survives on calendar appointments. And become the initiator. Most men wait to be invited because reaching out first feels like you need something. Flip that around. The man who initiates is not weak. He's the man whose friendships have a chance to survive this decade. And don't turn the first few invitations into some weirdo loyalty test. You're rebuilding a rhythm, not keeping score. Assume the other man may be sitting there waiting for someone to call him. Be that someone. So here's the commitment I want you to make before this video ends. Pull out your phone, choose a name, type the message. Not after you finish watching this video. Do it right now. Pause the video. The men who change this aren't necessarily the ones who feel the most motivated. They're the ones who send one text before all of that fades. Okay, after you send it, come back and leave a comment who you texted. My brother, my dad, Jimbo from high school. Nothing else. I just want to see how many of you will reach out today. Then, if you know somebody else that needs to hear this, brother, friend, your father, send him this video and tell him why. But send that text first. Don't use this video instead of a conversation. Use it to begin one. And the next video, the one about why so many men don't discover who their real friends are, subscribe now. The friend you think you lost, probably sitting there with your name in his phone, waiting for the exact same text. Send it. I can tell you this, I wish I had one more phone call with my bro Jimmy. You can do that. Don't waste it. I'm Scott Finn, and this is Men's Hard Reset, and let's live life on our terms.